everyone, my name is Liv and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new series on my channel, Squishy Makeovers. This series was originally created by Mariah Elizabeth, who is the queen of Squishy Makeovers. I absolutely love her and her channel, and all the art that she makes is amazing. And it just looked so much fun. I had to try it out for myself. So I went out and bought Squishies. This little guy here who's a little ugly. This one, which is kind of cute, but the colors are a little weird. Let's go ahead and get started. Before I started to paint my Squishies, I first planned out how I wanted them to look using my 3D paint app on my laptop. My laptop can turn all the way around like an iPad, and it also comes with a pen, which made it really easy to create my design. This is the first time I used my laptop to plan out a design, and it was really fun to do. My favorite fruit are strawberries, so I wanted to go with a cute strawberry theme for this video. So here are the designs I made for our two Squishies. Let's go ahead and bring them to life. This is the first Squishy, and it squishes pretty well. It's not super slow rising, but it's really nice and soft and so much fun to squish. The next Squishy isn't slow rising either. The slow rising ones are pretty hard to find, but it does still squish well, although this one is quite firm and a little difficult to squish. So we're starting off with Squishy number 1, and this one is going to be a strawberry bubble tea themed Squishy. And I'm starting by sanding down the Squishy so that the paint will stick to it. This is the sandpaper that Mariah uses, but they don't have that here in Australia, so I bought the only 60 grit sandpaper they had, which was a timber sandpaper, and it didn't work very well. It tore a few small holes in the Squishy, so I swapped to a fine grit and that worked a lot better. I'm just cutting off some bits that were sticking out too much, mainly on the seam lines, and then smoothing them out with sandpaper. Then I'm taking some green puffy paint and filling in some small holes and rips. I covered the whole Squishy with white matte fabric paint, and after several coats, it's now time to paint our Squishy pink. I mixed some pink and white paint together to get that nice strawberry pink color. Then I added some shading to the sides and the bottom with a darker pink. I painted the bottom half pink and left the top half white. I fixed up the white part of the Squishy, then I drew on the eyes with a pencil first before going in with a black paint. Making sure that the eyes are the same on both sides was really difficult to do. I've always struggled with symmetry. I used a sponge to add some dark pink under the eyes so it looks like she's blushing. Then I blended it out with a cotton bud. I mixed some brown and black paint to make a darker brown color and used a round sponge brush to create some circles on the bottom for our tapioca balls, because we are turning our Squishy into a strawberry bubble tea themed Squishy. I've never actually had bubble tea before, mainly because I don't like tea or coffee, but this Squishy is making me want to try one, so if they're vegetarian and don't have any gelatin, I would definitely try it. Now it's time to add the small details using puffy paint, and this is what really ties everything together and makes her look so cute. Once I finished the eyes, I could not get over how cute she looked. As I was adding the details, I was using a detailing brush and I realized that I just bought some dotting tools, so I switched to using those, and let me tell you, dotting tools are a game changer. They work so well for getting those small details. They even work for my air dry clay projects and my painting, so I would definitely recommend these, especially for Squishy makeovers. To finish off the detailing, I'm just adding some pink stripes to the top of our Squishy. on to the final detail to finish her off, this pink strawberry bow. I'm starting off by rolling some air dry clay into a ball, then forming it into a strawberry shape. Then I smooth it out with some water and creating some small dents for the seeds with a dotting tool. Next, I take another small ball, roll it out, and cut out a star shape with an Exacto knife. And to attach the leaves onto the strawberry, I'm just using some water. To create the stem, I just made a tiny hole in the strawberry using a toothpick, then rolled out my stem shape and put it inside the hole. After the strawberry was completely dry, I just super glued the stem to make sure that it stays in place, and then I painted the base of the strawberry red and did some shading with a darker red. Then I painted the leaves green using a darker green for the shading, and finally added those tiny little seeds with some yellow. After the strawberry was finished drying, I added some clay varnish to it and made a little bow with some white puffy paint stripes off camera. Then I attached the strawberry with a hot glue gun onto the bow and added it onto our squishy. This is our strawberry bubble tea. Her name is Tina. She's shy and quiet like me, and she is as sweet as tea. I named her Tina because Tina, they kind of sound the same. I thought it was clever. For our second squishy, we're going to be doing some surgery on her, but don't worry, Miss Squishy, you're going to be okay. After cutting off some of her limbs, we're going to be filling in those gaps with puffy paint. I did 2 layers of this because the first time I smoothed it out too much, but the second coat dried nicely. I tried covering the parts I cut out as best I could, but you're still going to see the indents of where the parts have been cut off. With a little more practice, I think it'll get better. I wanted to do a 2-tone color palette for this squishy, and I thought the fabric paint would work the same as acrylics, but trying to blend and create a gradient with fabric paint, especially on a squishy, was not easy. Moving on to the eyes now, and symmetry strikes again. I had to redo the eyes quite a few times, but we got there in the end. Just like I did with the last squishy, I'm using a Q-tip to create her blush and blending that out. The final details is adding the icing and the sprinkles. I covered the entire top half of the squishy in slick paint to make it look like white icing. It took 2 coats of the slick paint to completely cover it. So the sprinkles, this is where I wish I'd done things differently. After the icing was dry, I used fabric glue to attach the sprinkles onto the squishy and let it dry overnight, but the next day a lot of the sprinkles just came right off. So when I looked at Mariah's squishy makeovers, it looks like she put the sprinkles onto the squishy while the paint was still wet. So for episode 2, I will definitely try this again. I wish I watched her videos more closely before doing this myself, but I ended up just using super glue and that seemed to keep most of them on there, so it turned out okay in the end. I decided to add this cute little pink bow last minute. Let me introduce Poppy, a sweet and bubbly strawberry popsicle. I named her Poppy because it goes with popsicle, and I also love the horror game Poppy's Playtime. Alright, so this one wasn't very squishy to begin with, but hopefully there should still be a little bit of squish. I'm not going to squish this part because this is decorative and I don't want the sprinkles to fall off, but let's test the squish of the bottom part. The bottom's more slow rising than this part. Still squishable. Alright, so let's test the squishability of squishy number 2. I'm not sure what's making that noise, probably an air pocket. So aside from the air pocket hissing noise, it's still squishable. These squishies ended up looking so cute and sweet. I love them so much. I didn't intend for the colors on Tina to match the ones on Poppy, but I thought it was cute how they were matching, so I decided to make them mother and daughter. For my first time using fabric paints, I have to say I really like them. The colors are pretty and vibrant. The paint was pretty sticky, but after letting it dry overnight, that seemed to fix the issue. Do you like the transformation? I had so much fun creating these squishies. I just love how they turned out. So with squishies, you can't actually use any varnishes because it could ruin them. So in order to protect them from dust and debris, I wrap them up in cling wrap and then put them in a storage box so that they're well protected. That's all the time I have for today. Let me know in the comments which squishy was your favorite. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, and stay creative.